Hello guys, gals, and non-binary pals, and welcome back to the web, where today we're looking at another Warhammer 3 mod I'm developing for the Skink Chief. Now you guys are probably wondering, don't I already owe you guys a mod for the Ancient Raised-On and Ancient Salamander mounts? And yes, I do, and I'm going to address that at the end of the video. But for the moment, we're actually looking at the Skink Chief and a new skill line for him, to kind of update his skill tree to give it a bit more pizzazz, I suppose. So we're going to go over so far what I've planned out and made, and I'm going to try and get some feedback from you guys on what you like and what you don't like, or some changes or ideas you might want to see that you think I'm missing. Just to be clear before we get into it, I am going to be redoing the images and the flavor text and making it look a bit nicer, but this is just like the general idea of what I'm thinking at the moment. So this is what we have so far. Again, I will be changing the names a bit, the flavor text, I'll make it all look pretty. But at the moment we have like a single buff, and you pick between two choices, another single buff, you pick between two choices, and then the final one you pick between one of three, right? And the idea is that you can build your guy kind of the way you like. So these two at the moment alternate between a more sneaky buff and a more melee driven buff. So this one will give, you pick this, it'll give frenzy to all these skinks in your army. Or this one will give a little aura that makes everything around this guy, gives the attribute stalk. So you can get your cavalry to sneak up on them, or sneak a Bastillodon to the back line. So let's say if we went with a more melee focus, then we'll go to buff 2. So buff 1 and buff 2, I haven't decided what they're actually going to be yet. Would love to see some stuff in the comments about what you guys think. So then you pick that, whatever that happens to be. Might be maybe a price or something to do with him. Then we pick Unbreakable or Poison. So the Unbreakable is obviously the more melee focused. You get your units to kind of last a little bit longer for key engagements. The Poison, I was thinking at the moment, not 100% set on it, so would love to hear what you guys think. But at the moment, the Poison's probably going to be something like Oxyodal's Poison. So maybe he gives an ability that gives a little AoE and gives maybe one or two units one of Oxyodal's Poisons. So yeah, I'll see how I go with that. But yeah, that probably going to be our sneaky version. And then once you've got that, so let's say we took Unbreakable, you get to pick out of Leaders of Giants, Leaders of the Beast, or Leaders of the Skies. So you get to pick one, and each one of these is a different kind of summon. So they're not all perfectly balanced. Leaders of the Giants is probably the strongest one, or maybe Leaders of the Skies. So Leaders of the Giants summons a Croxagore at level 1, and then it summons Sacred Croxagore at level 2. So I'll probably edit it so you only get probably one summon, just so this doesn't get a bit broken, because they are still like a 700 upkeep hero, or something like that, quite low upkeep. Keepers of Beast gives you a Salamander hunting pack, and then an Ancient Salamander. And then Leader of the Skies gives you a Pterodon, and then a Ripidactylrata unit. So I'll do that all properly, so they all act like summon units, will eventually degrade. So yeah, that's the general idea. So a couple of things we could talk about or kind of discuss in the comments would be increasing the number of tiers. Although I'm kind of happy with the way it is now, because I want it to be shorter than the actual, like the original skill tree. Another thing is, if we wanted to add like a third middle ground, or really be happy to hear you guys' thoughts on maybe adding like a third ability here to choose between. Or even what to add for the buffs. I was thinking just maybe generic cost reductions or speed or something like that. Because when this guy gets there, we do kind of get a little bit bloated on the screen. He has quite a lot of stuff, especially when he's on the Stegodon. You give him Rock Drop and whatever. So, yeah, that's kind of working there. So again, would love to hear your guys' kind of feedback on this kind of stuff. Especially with the Poison and the two buffs. But also if you want to hit like some other ideas we could float around. Also with the summons, if you want to have like one final ability. But I think this is kind of a nice way of, not too ridiculously broken, but gives you a nice way to kind of build up the way you want. So do you want to ride in on a giant Stegodon, giving buffs and making things unbreakable? Or do you want them a bit more sneaky deaky like? Kind of moving around with key engagements, hiding things from the AI, that kind of stuff. Thanks so much for watching. If this kind of stuff does interest you, I do make quite a few Warhammer mods based on community interest, so popping a comment in the video or leaving a like if you enjoyed is much appreciated. I'm going to release this mod at 55 subscribers. From when I'm recording, it's only like 3 people away, so not too far to go. Just to address the skink mounts I owe you guys, I believe I found a way to get that working, and I'm hoping to have that done in the next week or two. It's just been a bit of an issue because the mount editor actually broke the one that we usually use. So we've kind of gone back 1,000 years in terms of technology. So yeah, apologies for the radio silence on that, as it's kind of been one thing after another, and thank you for your patience about it. Again, thank you for watching. Dips out.